Hey everyone, Coach Mel here. We are going to make one of those Christmas flowers on the flower board. I am using Poly Burlap Mesh. Poly Burlap Mesh. I am using also a wood burning tool on a temper glass cutting board actually. I have it laid on top of my cutting mat just so that I can see the inches. I'm cutting these at 11 inches long. So again, this is Poly Burlap Mesh. I am cutting very carefully right between the lines. You see here. I need 16 of these. I have most of them cut already. We just needed a couple more. So I'm going right between here. I'm following that line all the way down, making sure to stay between those lines. So we needed 16 of the red. Again, I use my wood burning tool. I had it on top of a temper glass, which I'm going to take away now. We're going to use one of these flower boards. This one is 12 inches long, and our zip ties are 6 inches long. All I'm going to do, so there's a front and the back. The side that I want my customers to be able to see has the numbers on it. On the inside is the branding. So I'm going to put these zip ties, again, they're 6 inches long. I'm just going to preload them. And we're going to do that around the entire surface here for all of these. And then I'm going to just, not all the way, but zip them just a little bit so that they're ready for us to put in our pieces. So I'm going to do that for the entire thing. I've already gone ahead and preloaded one. So you see all of these little dual things here. You want to put a zip tie in each of those. So we've cut all of the mesh that we needed. We're going to, they are 11 inches long. Again, they're 11 inches. And all we're going to do here is fold tip to tip. So it's 10 inches wide. The piece is 10 inches wide. And we cut it 10 inches the other way. I'm going to come corner to corner. It's not going to line up perfectly, and that's okay. I'm just going to zip up this piece right here. So there's going to be about a thumb size. You see, about a thumb size there. And I'm going to come around to the outside and zip this all the way super tight. Corner to corner, all the way. So many different color combinations you can do here. I've done them for patriotic. Of course, I've done just the sunflower. But this is a really fun combination for Christmas. I went with 11 inches. Just 10 is, real perfect. But I wanted the different kind of dimensions, so I went with the 11 inches. We're going to go red, and then we have a really cool check red, white, and green mix. And then we're going to add another layer of green and then back to red. So it's not going to all be red, it's going to be multicolor. Again, I'm just using about a little thumb size here. I have gone ahead and pre-cut this just to make it go a little quicker. Again, this is Poly Burlap Mesh. So the Poly Burlap Mesh is what I use that wood burning tool for. Everything else I will use just a regular rotary cutter. petals in the wild are not perfect, so good thing. We don't have to be crazy perfect. Petals in the wild also aren't green and white and red mixed together. So I think we're going to be okay here. Gonna scoot those together here. Fun watching these things come to life, especially when you're maybe not sure what they're going to look like or not sure how the color combination is going to look together. I try to make sure that I do all my cutting first, again, because it has that, you know, you're working with that wood burner tool. Nice to get that part out of the way. Whatever you do, don't use a wood burner on your, just clear on your mat. It will ruin it in seconds. And I know those mats can, you know, they can add up if you start having to replace them all the time. So that's why I use a smooth tempered glass. Actually, the wood burner and the glass that I use, because a lot of the glass cutting boards come in, they have a rough surface. So the one I use is smooth. It makes it real easy for the cutting. You can find those links if you go to sincerelycreativemom.com. There's a blog there that it literally says list of links. So you can find the wood burner that I use and the tempered glass, smooth tempered glass. You can find those links there. Okay, first layer, we have 16 on the first layer. Again, they are 11 inches long. 16 on that first layer. I'm just going to take a wire cutter because it's kind of strong, and I'm going to go around and cut all of these off. Now, it's okay that you leave just a tiny bit there. I know some people cut it right off, or if you have one of those really cool zip tie cutter tools. Once the mesh cutting is done for this, it really goes pretty smooth. Okay, we'll need more red, but we're going to come back to that in a minute. Right now, we're going to go to this really cool, again, it's that red, white, and green check. We needed 8 pieces for this. Same thing, I'm going to go corner to corner. Again, I use that wood burning tool on all of this to help make sure those edges stay as clean as possible. With the Poly Burlap Mesh, it really kind of frays pretty good. Even though it's a really good material, it still frays pretty good. So I use that wood burner to kind of singe the edges. Go all the way around. Again, there's like just a little thumb size there. Every time you touch this mesh, just be real gentle with it. When I'm putting my arms over, it might not show on the camera, but I'm being real gentle as far as like putting my arm on top of it, not like just scrunching it. The less you touch these pieces, the better off you'll be. I love putting the plaid or any plaid against a solid kind of darker color. Really showcases that plaid or the check. In this case, kind of like the window pane mesh. It really showcases that really nicely. So again, we had 16 pieces of the red on the outside, and we have 8 pieces of the check. Again, corner to corner is not letting it be, because it's 11 inches, you still see a little, difference here, and that's totally okay. That's what we went for. Typically, for a sunflower, one that you're looking to have be a little bit more perfect, I'd go 10 inches, and then have it corner to corner. It turns out to be a cute little petal. But for this style, just kind of being different is okay. So the flower board and the mesh and the zip ties, honestly, were all purchased from CoachMelSupplies.com. That is a affiliate of mine. So sometimes what they have in stock does vary. This is a 12-inch board. You can also use I think it's a 15-inch board. Okay, we're going to come on top here with this really pretty lime green, pulling that right from the plaid. Again, it was cut 11 inches, corner to corner coming up. Nice little thumb size here. There are so many different ways you can use these flower boards. So many different petals. So for here, we're getting a little bit closer in. So I'm going to make sure when I put this next petal in, I'm kind of squeezing that over so that this petal has room to also get in there pretty good. Now you could do, red and then green and then plaid, and then go back to the red. We're going to go on the red on the inside. You can do any kind of layered combination. Also, typically I put leaves on these flowers, and at least when I'm doing a daisy or a sunflower, and for this one I opted to skip that step. Make sure you pull tight every single time. So the inside circle only has room for 4 of these petals. However, it looks best with 8. So I put 8 twist ties or 8 zip ties in there, but we're going to do 4 at a time. We're going to do the first 4 that was there first, and then we'll add the additional 4. You'll see what I mean, just a moment. But you know, there was room for 4. It just really, in my opinion, I really just needed 4 more. So we're going to go back to the red. Go back to that red. Same 11 inches, same corner to corner. So here is that original 1. Real tight. Guys, I wind these just like this on purpose so that I can get more room on this table. For the actual centers, of course, when you're doing the, so I'm going to skip one here, and I'm going to go to the next one. For the actual centers, of course, when you're doing the sunflowers, you know, there's those actual flower centers that are adorable, and make it look like a real flower. So nice. But for any flower, and this one especially, you have so many other options. You can make a burlap center, you can make a rope center, you can make an ornament center, which I did consider for this one. You can use, for the Christmas ones, you can use poinsettias, which are very pretty. I made one of those. So you're starting to see how the 4 that are originally there, just not enough. And quite honestly, there wouldn't have been, you know, room to put more circles in. So it's not a design flaw, really. There's just enough room here to, in fact, add those other zip ties, which we have done already. So here are the original 4. You see I just added another set in between. And then I also want to make sure that these petals kind of lay right where they should be in between the 2 that are here, okay? So sometimes you can get an overlap action going on, and it's really nice. And this, I just want it to fit right in between there. And I still have to use these circles for my center, so I want to make sure that that is nice and tight. And that should do it. Same thing, 11 inches, corner to corner. I'm actually holding onto this right here with my left hand, so I can keep that point kind of a point. So I can keep it kind of in line. You know, when you start to, you know, zip these up here a little bit, it can kind of take its own shape. Making sure that that stays in between here. Perfect. Corner to corner. No, it gets really crowded in here. Last one. So again, the mesh, the board, and the zip ties, in this case, all came from my friends over at Deco Exchange. You can get there by going to CoachMelSupplies.com. CoachMelSupplies.com. Okay, so this is what our flower looks like before we add the center. Real nice. Letting that plaid stick out just a little bit. Now we are going to start. This is the center that I made. It's going to go in here, but it's white. It's a white glitter, and I figured that probably isn't the best thing to teach you on. So I'm gonna start off and use the gold just so that you have an idea of what I do. This is a two-piece coming in from the Dollar Tree. They're 4.8 inches wide. It's a round. There are two of them. It's round and flat. So that's what I use. And the stuff that we're going to add to it, the stuff that I added here, is glitter rope. It's just rope with glitter on it. If you haven't already, I would love for you to follow me, subscribe to my page, follow me on Facebook, all of those things. Subscribe to my YouTube. I'm going to just coil it a little bit. And I have this cutie pie little glue gun. I'm going to coil it so that it's round, coil it so that it's round, and set it right in here for the center. This glitter rope comes in all sorts of colors. So from here, I'm just going to coil it. I keep coiling it, keep coiling it, keep coiling it, keep coiling it. All the way around. This comes in so many different colors: red, green, white, pink, yellow, blue, all the colors. I went with white just to kind of brighten up that center. Whoops, I don't know where that came from. Just to brighten up that center, but gold is also very popular. It's a very traditional Christmas color, paired with the lime green in the design. Really still looks pretty cool. So you're just going to keep coiling. Things are falling over, y'all. Typically I would even use my normal glue gun, but it's still upstairs from a Christmas install that I did. I just make sure that this is all nice and tight. So you get the idea. You're going to keep going around and around and all the way around. And then even on the sides, and that was hard for me to even, show you that it's on the sides of the white because it's white on white. But you want to make sure you get all the sides as well. I am kind of dragging that across, and I am gluing every single piece here. Some people might think that that's excessive, and although I do agree, the last thing I want is for the wreath to stay intact and the center start coming undone. So, you know, I agree that that's probably a little excessive, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. With the white, I will mention, you know, it's really hard to keep that clean and nothing else like attached to it. So if you want to make sure your surface is very clean, even these little glitter, or the gold glitter pieces, you know, if I twist this upside down, it's going to totally catch. Any of those little gold glitters. So the glitter rope also came from CoachMelSupplies.com. You guys, that's where I buy almost all of my supplies. If you're looking for my cordless little glue gun here, you can go to sincerelycreativemom.com, same place where I sent you for the tempered glass. Let's put that back on the tartar so it can get a little warm again. So now you can see we're coming to the edge on one side. You know, we're rounding off, which is totally fine. Getting that center as close as possible is key, but you know, it's not, you know, it don't have to be perfection. You're going to go around this whole entire thing anyways and keep going until you've gotten the glitter rope all the way down to the side of the bottom of the sides. So just keep coiling. And you can also see in this very center, I touched it. There was glue there and I touched it. So I'm going to have to do one of two things. I have cut it out before. And if you can't see it, I'll show it to you when we get a little bit more, when we get done here. I've cut it out before, and I've also added a little bit of glue and added glitter, you know, the same color glitter to the top to kind of mask it. Okay, now we're going to go around to the edge. I want this whole thing all the way down. The key is to not touch it, obviously, and keep it as close in that little groove so that you don't see. Now this gets especially important, of course, when you're doing like dark colors and black. You can see that white foam, so just make sure you're getting all those little crevices. Running out of those little glue sticks. Oops. So again, you'd go through less glue sticks, right? If you were just tacking them here and there along the way, but I like to take the caution road. Especially, you know, this is so glittery. So it's very probable or easy for this to, you know, grab the glitter and then kind of chunk off sometimes. Getting right to that edge. Watch your fingers. It's windy here. Okay, we are at the edge. I'm going to snip that off. Now, one thing I have going on over here is my glue pot. So I'm going to use U-pins in the back here, U-pins. And if I stick them through, they're too big. So I do have to cut them. So I need 3 of them. I'm going to put 2 pipe cleaners in, and then the last one, of course, is going to hold that last piece that we have. If you haven't already joined my text message list, I would love to have you join us. Every time I am live, whether it be on Facebook or there's a new tutorial available or any of that good stuff, I do try to be mindful, y'all. I'm not texting you every day, all day. You can add or join my text message list. My phone number is 810-498-2310. Again, when I go live, I do try to send out a message and let everybody know. So now I'm going to use the other 2 with the pipe cleaner. I have in the past used a piece of felt to kind of go over this to keep it in place, just another level of security, but honestly it's really not needed. Just push it down in there. This is just a regular size pipe cleaner. If you want more information about me, I am a coach inside the Creative Coaching Group. You can join us you can read more information at creativecoachmel.com. So we're going to use, in the last video that I did, or the reel that I did, a real short video, I used the white. I'm going to show you both, but we're going to add this silver, or the gold, to this one actually. So text message list, 810-498-2310. Again, when I go live on Facebook, any of those places, I send messages. And let's just do a little twist here. If you're looking for the supplies that I used, you can do two things. You can go to sincerelycreativemom.com and check out the blog that says favorite suppliers, my 5 favorite suppliers. The tools that we use can be found in the blog that says list of links, super easy. If you're looking for more information on our creative coaching group, where there are 5 coaches teaching you all different styles, garlands, trees, all those things on a daily basis. We are live 5 times a week, a whole bunch of good stuff. You can read more by going to creativecoachmel.com. Okay, I'm going to find 2 of these little holes here. Let's zoom in a little bit here. 2 of those holes and then 2 on this side, and I'm going to slip it all the way through to the back. Slip 2 there and 2 there, and then move to the other side. And my hand is just on the other side of this, looking for these to all come in. Let's flip it over here. It's all the way back here. I'm taking those pipe cleaners and twist. Take the other ones nice and tight. Twist. I'm going to cut them off not too short, because I'm going to fold it in to that hole that's right there. Again, make sure the mesh that I used, Poly Burlap Mesh. And also, while we are on the back side of this, I'm going to add our hanger. So on these boards, there are spots for all your zip ties, but then there's 2 extra spots. I'm going to use that for our hanger. So I'm going to push it in through the outside. I know that sounds funny, but in from the outside. And we're going to tie these here. Twist them and twist them. Make sure they're nice and secure. And then, so that the pointy side stays kind of under here, I'm going to slip it and tuck it so it stays right underneath there, so no part of this back is pointy. So nice and smooth back here. You guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, follow, do all of those things. So pretty. Such a pretty piece. And then, of course, if you wanted the white or black or any other color, the white. I really do like the gold. Very different, very traditional with the gold. You guys, thanks for joining, and have a wonderful day. Coach Mel, Melly Mel from Sincerely Creative Mom, signing off. Thanks, guys.